Okay, let us review this controller. This is the review of the Nacon Revolution Unlimited Pro Controller for the PlayStation 4. This is an officially licensed product, so it's been licensed by Sony to play on the PlayStation 4, so means it works and Sony's approved it. I did have to import it here, so I'll put a link to where I did import it from PlayAsia. This is the third in a line of Pro controllers that Nacon has made for the PlayStation 4. We have the Nacon Revolution Pro 1, Nacon Revolution Pro 2, and now we have the Revolution Unlimited. So this is the third one and probably the final one for the PS4 from Nacon, just because we are starting to get PS5 information now. So yeah. This controller ran me about $150 plus shipping, so I'd say about $175 to get over here to America. I'll zoom in here. And yeah, overall I really like it. So we're going to talk about it today, its features. So it does work wired and wireless with the PlayStation 4. We've got the two sticks that are interchangeable, so you are able to pull the stick heads off and the stick shafts, and you can change them with other ones. If you want a convex or concave head, you can put one on there. If you want a thicker stick or a slimmer one, you can put that on there. You cannot, however, raise the height. They will always be the same height, so that is one thing that is a little bit of a bummer, but you might be able to get a some kind of control freak on here or something like that to raise the stick if you need that. The face buttons are nice. I've always liked the face buttons on the Nacon controllers because they're really big, easy to find. You have a recessed PlayStation button, which is nice, but you don't accidentally hit it. The D-pad is a lot better than on previous models, and you can in the software change it from a 4-direction D-pad to a 8-direction D-pad. You have your share and start buttons, options button here. You got your trackpad. You've got your 4 lights here, which are going to give you different things like what profile you're on and the battery level. And then you have a light around the ring here, which I'll kind of show later, but you can actually change each 4 corner of the ring and then what effect they do. So you can have different lighting options there as well. With the triggers feel really good on this controller. The triggers are great, but what I really was impressed with was the bumpers. Nacon did change the bumpers finally. The ones in the previous models were a little hard to get to. These are more pronounced and more clicky. Like a mouse button. On the back of the controller, we have wireless and wired options. We have profiles you can switch between. And then you have different modes. You can program this with and without a computer, which I talked about before. And then you have a mode for using it on PC. And then you have some volume controls if you plug your headset in. Volume up, volume down, and mute. You do have 4 buttons on the back like previous models, but instead of a rocker where you would use one finger for both buttons on each side, they've gone ahead and made it to where you have 4 separate buttons this time. And they take some getting used to, but now that I'm used to them, I actually really enjoy using these buttons. They're not that bad at all. They sit where your fingers rest, and then you would use your middle finger for the top 2 and your index finger for the bottom 2. So pretty straightforward there. On the back of the controller, we do also have more customization. So not only can you change the sticks and the width, which going back to that, I'm not sure what is really better. What I've been kind of liking is a thicker stick for the movement and a slimmer one for aiming. That one seems to work a little better, but you can try out what you like and kind of go from there. On the back, the grips, which I do want to make a side note, feel really good. And overall, the build quality of the controller is really solid. The grips pop off like so, pretty easy. And then you have weights in here, so you can change the weight of the controller. So you can make it heavier, which I do really like a heavy controller. So they're pretty easy to change there. And they come with 3 different weight options, so you can even make them one side heavier than the other. One thing I will note that is missing that you may sway you in deciding to get this controller is it does have software trigger stops, but they are not hardware. So your triggers will always press all the way, but you can in the software change it to where the trigger activates quicker. So something to kind of think about. In the box, you do have a very nice hard case for the controller. You are going to get a braided USB-C cable that I believe is 10 feet long. You're going to have a nice cleaning cloth for it with the logo imprinted on it. You're going to have a instruction manual that's one page that just tells you to go to their website, and some stickers. Of course, you're going to have the controller. You're going to have your dongle so you can use it wirelessly with your PS4. Do want to know, this has a really big dongle, by the way. And then we have the weights and such. So in here we have the other weights. So we got 10 grams, 14 grams, and I believe I have 18 in here. Let me just double check. Oh, 16. So I got 16 in the controller on both sides right now. And then, oh, sorry. And then we got our thicker joystick shafts in here. And of course we have our domed sticks. So if you like the domed sticks more than the concave ones, you can switch those out. So that is what is included in the bundle. Gameplay felt great on the controller. All the sticks feel good, the buttons feel good, especially the bumpers now, they're a lot better. Back buttons feel great, and they're in a great spot. Once you get used to them, it's nice having those four back there, and they definitely fit in your hand really well. If you see my aim a little off in the video, it's because there's a camera and a light in front of me and I can't see like half my screen. But no, otherwise the controller felt really good. It's a really great controller. I didn't notice any input lag using it both wired or wirelessly, so that's great as well. For my settings, I've just been using all the face buttons on the back four buttons, and then I've been kind of just using the default stick curve. My trigger stops are at 50%. Haven't had too much time to go into the settings, so I don't have any to recommend at this time. My recommendation would be try it out with the default and kind of just see what you like from there, see what you need to change, and then also test out some of the settings you can download in the software, because you can download other settings that people have tested out and tried for different games. So there's that too. Just on the bottom line, I love it. Everything feels good about it. If there were a few things I could change, I would like that it would have some manual trigger stops. That's one thing that Nacon hasn't had for a while, and I've kind of started to like on the Astro controller. And of course the pricing. The pricing could be a little cheaper, but you know, otherwise it's a great controller. I definitely recommend it. I'll put a link again to where I picked it up if you're in America or somewhere where it's not being sold and looking to import one. But yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything else. It does not turn on the PS4 when you press the button. So that's something to think about with most Pro controllers and controllers that are not actually made by Sony. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and go Shuki out.